Reportino Podcast'in sunduğu Kolej Havası programına hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Bugün sizlere özel bir konuğumuz var. NFL Division 1 koçlarından Braden Herdrick'i, kendisi Western Kentucky'nin defansif koordinatör asistan koçu. Yani baya bir NFL Division 1 koçu getirdik sizler için. Röportajı aldım sizler için. Hazırladığım sorular, sizlerden gelen birkaç soru üzerine. Umarım keyifli bir bölüm olur. Bölüm İngilizce ama sizler için YouTube altyazı halini koyuyorum. Şu an zaten YouTube'dan dinleyenler de vardır. Spotify, Apple Podcast'lerden dinleyenler de maalesef altyazı yok. Sadece İngilizce dinleyebileceksiniz. Bu zamana kadar bizleri desteklediğiniz ve bizleri dinlediğiniz için çok teşekkür ederim. Bu tarz röportajlar ara ara gelmeye devam edecek. Elimizden geldiğince ulaşabildiğimiz insanlara, elimizin değdiği insanlara, ulaşabildiği insanlara davet, mesaj gönderiyoruz. Merak etmeyin. Tekrardan sizlere çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Keyifli dinlemeler dilerim. So guys, welcome to our podcast. I have Braden Herdick. He's Western Kentucky's defensive coordinator, assistant coach. Am I right, coach?
Yes, defensive quality control. Yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for replying my Instagram message and following me on there and also joining our podcast right now. So let me introduce myself and our podcast quickly. I'm a high school student from Turkey right now, and we're doing college football podcast since last year's NFL draft. And I found you on YouTube one day, and I just texted you, and this happened. Let's start with the first question. Can you talk about yourself, please? Who are you? Which position are you working on Division 1? How old are you? These type of things.
Sure thing. So I just turned 23 at the beginning of July. I've been coaching football for, I believe this is my 6th year now. I coached all throughout trying to get my undergrad degree. So Western was actually my 3rd school that I was at. I began coaching at a junior college back home in Buffalo, New York. So I did that for a year. I jumped to a Division I school in Missouri called Southeast Missouri State. I was there for a year. I coached special teams. I moved on after another year there. I came to Western. So Western was my 3rd school in 3 years. I spent 3 years at Western as a student. I was working with linebackers for 3 years, and I graduated this past December, and they hired me on as a quality control coach. I now work with defensive backs.
Oh, you're the youngest NCAA Division 1 coach, right?
Once upon a time, I'm sure I'm not anymore. But once upon a time, yes, that is what they say. I didn't create that title for myself, so. But
23. Wow,
yep.
Wow. I'm just congratulations, man.
Thank you.
So basically, it is really hard and stressful journey to become a football coach. Am I right? On every level, I think.
Absolutely, it definitely takes a lot out of you.
Yeah. Can you share your own way and journey, please?
Yeah. So I got started. I actually started coaching before I graduated high school. So I was a high school student, and one of my former high school coaches, he had just accepted the defensive coordinator job at Erie Community College, which is where I started. And I was planning on going to school there in the fall, regardless. So he reached out to me one day. He's like, "Hey man, why don't you give coaching a shot?" Because I love football. I love the game of football. And, I always had a love for the intricacies and the X's and O's and all that type of thing. So he asked me to come out and start coaching with him. So I did. And, I really fell in love with it. I enjoyed working with the players. As young as I was, it was kind of an interesting situation. I would go to school all day. And, after school, I would just drive over to the football facilities and I would come home at night. So it was definitely a unique experience. And, I won't take that for granted. It was a great place to start and a lot of great people to be around. So So while I was there, obviously that video that you found me on got shot was at Erie Community College. So I also have a relative, a cousin of mine who's in the profession as well. He's currently the running backs coach at Long Island University. So he called me after he saw the video, and he was like, I'm going to send this to a couple people that I know, and maybe we can get you a job somewhere else. So I was like, okay, I wasn't thinking much of it. I kind of thought whatever. I was fully planning on, being at ECC for a couple more years. And so sure enough, one of his friends, one of his colleagues, he was the special teams coordinator at Southeast Missouri State, a guy by the name of Matt Martin. He reached out to me and kind of presented the opportunity for me to be a student assistant with him there. So that kind of caught me a little bit off guard. I was a little unprepared. I was living at home at the time, so I had never lived by myself. So I knew that was the best decision for me. So I accepted that position, and I moved, at that time, 12 hours away from home. So I packed all my stuff up in about a week and a half, and I was on my way to Missouri. So that was a change.
Wow. Amazing.
That was cool. Yeah, it was definitely a change.
It sounds amazing, like going to a different place.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm very thankful for that. That was a time in my life where home was a little bit rough for me. My parents were going through a divorce, and I had some other things going on in my life. So it was a really nice opportunity to be able to get a fresh start, focus on myself, and focus on my career goals. So I was very, very thankful for that opportunity. So I was a special teams student assistant there for a year. I had an awesome run there, met some great people. We had the best season in school history there.
You guys reached second on the special teams, right? The rank.
Correct. Yeah, we finished second in the FCS in special teams efficiency. So that was awesome. That was awesome. Those guys did an awesome job. They played hard on special teams. So that was awesome. We got a chance to go to the playoffs. Won the first playoff game in school history. So we did a lot of things that hadn't been done at that school in a long time. So or had never been done. So it was cool.
Yeah. Passion and hard networking helped you a lot, I think. Yeah.
Definitely. So I did that for a year, and so then I got another phone call after that year, from a guy who's one of my best friends now. He was working here at Western Kentucky at the time. He saw the video and all that type of stuff, and so he originally tried to get me to come here to coach that January. I initially turned the first opportunity down to stay at SEMO. And then 6 months later, another opportunity came up for me to work with the defense here. So actually, I finished my last final exam at Southeast Missouri State, and I got in my car and I drove here right away. So I finished school, came out here, got an apartment, and I started working for a guy by the name of Maurice Crum, who's now the co-defensive coordinator at Ole Miss. And, that coming here was life-changing for me. Again, a very difficult decision to leave SEMO. A lot of good people there, great place. But so I came here, and that was my third school in 3 years. So, that was definitely a challenge for me, was being at 3 colleges in 3 years and trying to keep up with academics and everything on top of coaching. So,
I think you adapted very well to those life-changing moments in your life.
Yeah, it's definitely, that's part of one place for, a very long time. So it was good for me to get kind of those lifestyle changes under my belt early on in my career. I think that'll help me going forward as I, move place to place.
So I'm moving to our third question. What do you think and expect about the new season? Are there any players you can recommend us to watch on Western Kentucky University? Are you excited about it, Coach?
I'm very excited about this upcoming season. Anytime you have a love for something, you're always looking forward to it. But I have high expectations for us again this year. Obviously last year we came up short of where we wanted to be, coming up short in the conference championship. But I have high expectations for us. Our defense, I think, will definitely have a new identity, and good thing is we have a lot of young players right now. A lot of young players that we're expecting a lot of big things out of. So, I think you'll kind of see some players that you haven't heard of come out of the woodworks this year and do some big things for us.
Yeah, I think they're hungry.
Definitely. Anytime you come up short, you come as close to a championship as we came. You go into that next season with a chip on your shoulder. Sometimes it means a little bit more to you. And on top of that, I think that helps the younger guys too, because the older guys that were part of that team and that came up short, they're able to help push those younger guys to get to their level of desire to win. So,
yeah, what are you thinking about this latest NFL draft and your prospect? You guys sent 2 players on there, right? Bailey Zappa and D'Angelo Malone.
Correct. Yeah, correct. It's a little bit too early to tell right now. I think time will tell as far as, NFL prospects go, but there are some names to keep an eye on. I think Broderick Martin for us at nose tackle is definitely one that could be a possibility to go in the NFL draft. I think one of our corners by the name of Kolej Havası, he's another guy that could be a potential NFL prospect for us as well. So, I hope we can put a couple more of those guys out to pro teams. My first 2 years here, we didn't have anybody drafted. So it was nice to see, Bailey and D'Angelo get drafted last year, and we had a few guys sign undrafted free agent contracts too. So, it was a productive year for us as far as NFL prospects go.
Yeah. I wrote 2 articles about Bailey Zappa also, and I introduced him to Turkey as well. And he was drafted in the 4th round. I was like way too excited. And also Bill Belichick I'm way too hyped on him also.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I have more questions about 2022 NFL draft. Which prospect is your favorite besides Western Kentucky players?
Ooh, that's a hard one for me. I don't quite keep up with NFL draft, this early on. I'm kind of just focused on us. So sure, if you ask me that question in 6 months or so, I'd have a different answer, but I really don't have an answer for you right now, unfortunately.
So I'm going for Bailey Zappa and D'Angelo Malone.
Yeah, absolutely. They're both two very special players, two both very good human beings and good men, and they're going to have a very long-lasting and productive NFL career, both of them.
Bailey Zappa was also leading the NCAA Division I with yardage. Am I right? And touchdown passes.
Correct. Yep. He broke that record, and that was pretty cool to be around and be there for.
I was way too hyped on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can
imagine having to go against him in practice every day. That would annoy you for sure.
I would not be surprised if he cuts Mac Jones, I think. I would not be very surprised because he has the talent and he's always gives the energy and he looks like hungry.
He is an elite competitor, I can tell you that for sure.
So I'm moving the next question. When it comes to your coaching career, which moment comes into your mind the best moment, and how did you react on it?
Ooh, the best moment of my career.
Yeah,
that's a tough one because I've had a few pretty good ones. I would say I think my favorite moment probably was when we beat Marshall this past year to win the Conference USA East title. Marshall was a team that we hadn't beat in my 3 years here, and that's a huge rivalry game for us. And it came down to, the last game of the year. It was either us or them going to the conference championship. And I would say that would be my favorite. My favorite moment was just the energy and the joy in that locker room after that victory, man, was just everyone feeling like hard work had paid off, and that we had done something that we hadn't been able to do since I had been there. And just to see a bunch of grown men that have worked their tail off to get to something, to see the joy on their faces, and the coaches too, to see the joy and happiness in everybody. That was a special moment.
Yeah. How did you react on it?
Oh man, I was so excited. I couldn't wait to touch it.
I'm an ex-basketball player, and I also missed that locker room synergy, room feeling. I'm always missing.
For sure, a sports locker room is like nothing else.
Yeah.
It's a group of very close people that have been through a lot, and to see everybody in a good mood and celebrating is something pretty special.
Yeah, I hope it continues, Coach.
Thank you. I hope it does too.
What comes your mind when it comes to the sports media on general? I also want to pursue that sports media on general. So my dream is to be NFL draft analyst one day. Are there any specific advices can you give me or any sports media?
Don't aggravate us.
That's the main point. I think everyone every coach touches on that topic.
Handling the media is definitely a difficult thing. For me, obviously, I haven't had to deal with much media in my career, but I've seen it wear on a lot of people, and I guess my advice for you is people have family that they're close to, and they have friends, and there's some things that they don't want to answer. And I guess my advice would just be, respect their position and respect their feelings. And, if there's a question that you feel might be too intrusive, maybe just hold on that. Athletes and coaches, they're in the spotlight a lot, but they're human beings as well. So just treat everybody as a human being. That would be my advice for you.
It's difficult to do this job on Turkey. Yeah, it's like hard. Like it's not so popular, and our podcast is like 20 or 30 people is listening to our podcast. So I don't know. Maybe we can switch to the NFL one day. Doing NFL podcasts. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, everyone starts small. I started small in my career. Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure. So I'm moving to the 8th question. Where are you see yourself on 5 years? What's your future plans, Coach? Are there any specific plans about?
No. I'm somebody who likes to take things a day at a time and take things as they come to me. So,
are we gonna see you at the NFL one day?
I hope so. My goal is to be in the NFL.
Sean McVay did it, Coach.
Yeah, he sure did.
One day.
He sure did, and he set a trend for young coaches. So I can appreciate everything he did. But my goal personally, I would like to be a defensive coordinator someday, and eventually be a head coach. So, and people are looking for younger guys in terms of head coaches and coordinators now. So I think my journey toward the top will be a little bit easier than some other people's. Just with the time that we live in. So I'm very thankful for that as well.
You have any specific deal on coaching or any favorite coaches on all time?
I do. Yeah, I have a few. obviously Bill Belichick is the most generic answer.
Yeah.
Just
But he's not gonna win any ring without Tom Brady, man.
yeah, I could see that as well. I think that debate was kind of settled after Brady won one. But just the consistency and the constant winning in that franchise is hard to do holistically, and maybe it had more to do with Brady, but admiring him, no one's done it like he has. Mike Tomlin is another one for me that I really like. I think Mike Tomlin carries himself very well. Another very low-key successful coach. I think I read something where this past year might have been the first year he's ever missed the playoffs, or something where he has almost never had a team under 500. So he's another one of those guys that's just been a consistent winner.
Yeah.
And there's not a whole lot of those, I think he's done a fantastic job with that franchise, and, much continued success to him as well.
Any historical coaches like Bill Walsh or something like that?
Bill Parcells would be one I would say,
yeah,
for sure. Obviously he kind of, put Bill Belichick on spot and everything. So, he would be one for sure, I would say.
I think you like defensive-minded coaches.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a trend here.
Yeah.
A little bit of a trend.
Yeah.
But, if you force me to say some offensive guys, I like Shanahan and what he's done over the past couple of years. McVay, obviously, as well.
He sold our Super Bowl. I'm a Falcons fan.
Oh man, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's a hard one to deal with. I'm sorry for you.
That was really hard night for us, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I'm moving our another question. Other than football, are you following any different sports, any other sports?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm a huge Atlanta Braves fan. Played baseball my entire life. So, awesome to finally win a World Series. So
yeah, last year.
You can't call me a bandwagoner. I've been a fan forever, and I had to deal with the rebuilds in the early 2010s and all that. So, I had to deal with that, and I'm glad we were able to win a World Series title.
Yeah. I'm a huge Atlanta sports fan as well. I'm Hawks fan, Falcons fan, Braves fan. I'm always looking, and also I'm a Georgia fan with Division I in SAC.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. But really, the Braves are the only team I keep up with. I'm a hockey fan as well. I'm hometown Buffalo Sabres fan. It's been a rough couple of years for those boys, but I think they're finally going to get it turned around this year. I've probably said that every year for the past 10, but hopefully this year will be different.
So are you just taking that tactical spirits on those sports and just evolving on football, or are you watching it like for fun?
Oh, most other sports I just watch for fun.
Yeah.
I like the fast pace of hockey, and I like baseball because I had played it for so many years. But honestly, when I sit down, I don't get a chance to sit down and watch much football because we work, throughout the week and everything. So I don't get a chance to really sit down and watch a ton of NFL football, to be honest with you. So.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
So I have another question. I think this is the most important question on this page. How can random football fans start to get into tactical side of it? Do you suggest any magazines, books, websites, videos, or anything like that?
Really, where I started to kind of get into X's and O's, but I would just go on YouTube, and I would just watch football videos all day and watch coaches, speak at clinics and everything. And that's really where I started to learn most of the game. And believe it or not, playing the Madden video games for me.
Everyone is suggesting that. Everyone recommend this.
That's where I first started to kind of developed the liking for the intricacies of and strategy of football, and that kind of launched me to where I am. So I'm not going to say that my whole career is based off my love of playing a video game, because it's not, but that is kind of how I got started.
Yeah. So your defensive mind and your loudness, how did that start, coach?
Well, I've had the opportunity to work for two really awesome people that had really good defensive minds. My first 2 years here, our defensive coordinator was a guy by the name of Clayton White, who's a great coach and an awesome person. He's now the defensive coordinator at the University of South Carolina. And I had the chance for 3 years to work for a gentleman by the name of Maurice Crum, who is now the co-defensive coordinator at Ole Miss. So, just being around those guys and hearing them talk and developing a way to think, the more you're around them, you kind of start to have your own thoughts and an opinion on things. So really just being around those guys and being in their hip pocket is really just how I learned defense. And, I just kind of take things from there and, form my own opinions and thoughts about things. And really it comes from the people you're around. So, and I've had the chance to be around some really great, smart people.
Yeah.
In a couple of years.
Being around them just helped you a lot, I think.
Yes.
So can you talk about one of your game days, please? When do you wake up? What are you doing, like preparation for the game?
So it depends what time the game is at. Typically if it's a home game, we'll kick off somewhere around like 2 or 3 o'clock. So what happens is you wake up in the morning and basically you have a walkthrough. So we keep all of our players in a hotel, even for home games. We keep them in a hotel. So basically you'll wake up in the morning, you'll go over to breakfast at the team hotel, and you'll have a special teams walkthrough that morning, and then an offense and defensive walkthrough. And that doesn't take very long. That's probably about an hour process. And then really between there and about 3 hours before the game, I go home, I get some rest, and, about 3 to 3.5 hours before kickoff, you drive over to the stadium, and the coaches, we go up to the dining hall for our pregame meal, and the players, they bus over from the team hotel. So they go straight from the team hotel to pregame meal, and we'll eat our pregame meal, we'll say our prayers, we'll watch a hype video to kind of get everybody excited for the game, and after that, we'll go do what's called our topper walk. So everybody, coaches, players, will get on the bus, and we'll bus over to the actual stadium, and we get a chance to walk through a big crowd of fans, and we got the band playing and the cheerleaders. So it's a really cool interactive event. You get to see fans. If you got family there, you get to see them right before the game. And then really from there, it's, just wasting time until kickoff. So I don't really.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, I don't really do a whole lot. I'll go out, I'll play some catch with some of our assistant coaches, and really you're just wasting time till kickoff. But
one day I want to be in there, like college atmosphere. It's amazing. I think it's better than NFL.
I would
and
agree.
Passion.
I would agree. I think the passion for college football is much greater than NFL football. I do agree with that.
Yeah, and also watching the young players is also another taste.
For sure, because I think the big difference is, young college athletes, they're not going out there making millions of dollars every day.
Yeah.
So, they're really more invested in the game and the people around them, because that's all they have. They don't have the money. At the end of the day, I think some NFL athletes, they're okay with losing just because they're getting a nice paycheck at the end of the day. And you don't have that in college. College is more so about winning.
but I'm also afraid on it because of the sponsorships, and all of that. Like they are also getting the same amount of money that NFL players get on those sponsorships.
That is very true. That is very true. I think
also in SAC.
Yeah, we're in an age right now where, you know, NIL deals are becoming very real in college sports, and you know, at the end of the day, I think college athletes do deserve to be paid.
For sure.
I think the NCAA made a good decision with being able to implement some of those NIL things. I hope they move forward with some regulations on it, because I think it's a little bit out of control right now. I think the bigger schools are taking advantage of smaller schools, so I hope that they will put some restrictions on that in the next couple of years.
So you're a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, am I right?
New York Jets.
New York Jets. Oh, I found some of your photos. You were with Jacksonville Jaguars AFC Championship game T-shirt. Yeah.
See, that's a little bit of a different story. So being from Buffalo, right, and being from Buffalo, I got that Jaguars shirt because the Buffalo Bills had made the playoffs for the first time in like 20 years.
Oh.
And really, I guess I was just a little bit jealous. They were playing the Jaguars that week in the playoffs, so you know, being the petty person that I am and trying to make all my friends mad, I bought a Jacksonville Jaguars shirt that week just to be funny. So.
But Jets is rebuilding, and they're on a good way, I think.
I think so too. I think Coach Robert Saleh is definitely
great defensive-minded coach also. Yeah.
Yes, definitely the right man for the job. I think the GM, Joe Douglas, is the right guy for the job as well. I think they're the best crew that we've had in a long time. I'm very glad that Zach Wilson's not too banged up after his injury the other night.
Oh, that was really sad on the preseason game.
Yeah, it went a lot better than I thought it was going to. So I'm glad he's not out for the year. And, you know, I think that franchise is in the best place it's been in a long time. You know, we got really young.
I agree with that also.
Really, really, really young, talented players. And I think all the makings are there to be a really good team for the next couple years.
So fans are going to see the light end of the tunnel soon.
I think it's coming. This is the most thing we've looked in a long time. On paper.
So that's all for me, Coach. Thanks for joining our podcast and answering my questions. I'm also wishing you a best luck of your season and also New York Jets. So
Absolutely.
Thanks again for joining and replying my message.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks.